Easy chair.
How did I find out about drag? Well, I would have to say it was back in the late 70s. It was on a Canadian Broadcasting news report about gay bashing in Toronto back in the 70s. And then I saw they were doing a piece on one of the bars, and I saw a bunch of drag queens in there. And then there was another news thing later on about the Great Imposters with Rusty Ryan and Danny Love and Michelle DeBerry, all these lovely older gentlemen now. Some have passed on, some are still alive. Well, Michelle DeBerry is very much alive. She's the oldest, considered the oldest queen in Canada. And it just enthralled me, but to really nail it on the head, it was when I was very young. I used to run around the house in my mom's high heels. When did I start doing drag, like actual drag? It was the early 80s, definitely the early 80s. I was about 16, 17, and then going into professionally, I would have to say it was about 1985 when I lived in Vancouver, BC. No, I lived in Vancouver before that. So I would say 1984. Yeah, 84, 85. I've been doing it a very long time, and how do I help other queens? I put the bullets in the gun. That's how I help these queens. Quit now before it's too late. I sew for people, I do wigs for people, I've helped people with makeup, I give them insight. You know, there's, with it being as mainstream as it is now, you can go on YouTube and you can see 20 different makeup tutorials, and each one is completely different, but yet the same. You can go on to tutorials, but getting your makeup done by a queen is always pretty much better, because you can, if they're teaching you while they're doing it, you're good. I think after a certain amount of time, every drag queen, this was told to me by my drag mother, Sandy St. Peters, may she rest in peace, you fat bitch. You left too fucking early. She used to say, if you're working the show circuit, and you can't get your face on in less than half an hour, you're not doing drag. If it takes you over an hour to do your makeup, you need to rethink your positioning and where you're at in your job. So that's why I can walk into a place and have 30 minutes to get my face on, get dressed, and run on stage. How has drag changed? Stupendously. There's new makeup techniques, there's new wigs, new wig fibers, there's costuming is always changing, shoes are changing. It's all changed. New undergarments. And I'm talking back in the day, the 60s and the 70s, it was illegal for a man to wear women's clothing. So they would have to hide it. And even in some places, you actually had to have on a piece of men's attire to get away with it. Yes, it was illegal. Men who wore dresses back in the 60s were arrested and thrown in jail for impersonating a female. How has drag become more acceptable since RuPaul's Drag Race came out? I think it was already accepted. It's more mainstream. RuPaul put it on TV. What do people do? They're sitting on their house eating their fucking, filling their fat asses, and it's on TV. Oh, let's check this out. Then all of a sudden these queens get a little notoriety, and some of them think they're gods, which they're not. Some of them have a lot of bad attitude because, it just goes straight to their heads. But it's changed dramatically, I have to say that. For some, good. For some, not so good. So, yeah, it's changed a lot.
And of course, give it up for the host of this show. I almost said whore of this show.
I'm not an all
Same principle.
No, I'm...
Give it up for Mr. Terri Stevens.